Welcome to Let's Get Metaphysical, the show that stretches you beyond your five senses. When you are looking for your next step on the path into the unseen, we've got you covered. Join epic adventure seekers and level up your game with your host, reality magician Allie Bierman.
Greetings, epic adventure seekers. Welcome to your guide to demystifying your world. I'm Allie Bierman, and you are listening to Let's Get Metaphysical, the show connecting heart and mind. If you've not yet done so, please rate and review our podcast so others can find it. Simply write what you like about the show and think others would too. Yours may be the review of the week shared right here, right now. Here's our review of the week. Mayana Mama Tink says, Getting Real with Allie. Allie Bierman's vision is clear. These podcasts offer real-life guidance for living in a multi-dimensional world and thriving. Such a wonderful variety of special guests offer a range of wisdom that we can all grow with. Very worth the time to listen. Thank you, Mayana Mama Tink. That is definitely the goal that we are looking toward. Today's guest, Dr. Tianna Conte, is the trailblazer leading the way to revolutionary self-care. Before I jump in, let's take a minute to tell you about the special gift I made just for you. Seriously, I really did create this guide for you, my epic adventure seeker, as you dive into new realms, opening your life to new and different experiences. If you think life just happens to you, that you have no say in the matter, then now is the time to discover your true power and your true control every day in your life. If you continue walking the same path you've always walked, guess what? You'll keep arriving at the same old destination. It's time to forge a new path, to go places you've never been, and to explore a world you've yet to know. My guide, Step in a New Direction, gently grants you a new passage in life. Stop putting your life on hold. Click the link in the show notes, download, open the guide. It's a quick read, but reading changes nothing. Take action on each step, then come in the Facebook group and tell us what changed in your world. Dr. Tianna Conte is a trailblazing mystic, eternal entrepreneur, and international best-selling author of multiple books on transformation. She founded the Awakening Awareness Academy to empower visionary entrepreneurs, coaches, and healing experts to escape from the hamster wheel of stress and financial struggles, to live successfully and fulfilled in actualizing their soul's calling in service to others. Imagine navigating life's challenges by reawakening your divine guidance and soul superpowers. The result? Experience true freedom, authentic intimacy, and love that never dies, starting with yourself. Her signature program, the GPS code God Source Positioning System, is an ego-friendly spiritual system that specializes in revolutionary self-care and personal transformation. Following spiritual awakenings, including a near-death experience, Dr. Tianna brings an intuitive knowing for accelerating your entrepreneurial journey. Her career has spanned 40 years as a naturopath, interfaith minister, initiated shaman, Reiki master, and psycho-spiritual therapist specializing in mind, body, energy, medicine. And now I feel honored and super excited to introduce my new friend and mentor in so many directions. And by the way, you know how you hear a smile in a person's voice? Perk up your ears because your face is about to change expressions. Welcome, Dr. Tianna.
Oh, Allie, thank you so much for your juicy introduction and your brilliance. And I'm so excited to be here with you and your incredible spiritual seekers of awakening.
Well, cool. Years ago, I gave my life to everybody else. I met everybody else's needs, and I literally almost lost my own life. And that, when I started teaching love yourself first, it is not selfish. It's mandatory. Please tell us what you mean by, and I got to spell this for you guys because you're only listening, capital R-Evolutionary. So not just running it together as one word, revolutionary. This is a whole different revolutionary self-care. Please go into what is that all about?
Well, Allie, first I want to commend you because you took the first step in revolutionary self-care. And that first step, it's R-Evolutionary, but it stands for start with you. It starts with you. And that's why so many people think it's selfish, like you started to say, Allie. No. If you don't fill your cup first and give from the saucer, it's called burnout. And you started by, lending the way. And I know most people who are your listening audience probably are givers. They give and they give and they give. And the revolution comes in, receive, so you can give more, give more. But here's the special part of revolutionary self-care, starting with yourself, but aligned with source, aligned with that higher part of you, not the conditioned part we were seduced into hypnosis of believing we are. Oh, yes, I use really naughty words because I want to get that juicy sexual energy flowing, that sensual energy more than sexual, the sensual. Every cell of your body has intelligence, every single one. We are vibratory beings of light. And I honor Teilhard de Chardin, a mystic from centuries ago. He gave us our secret. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. That is huge, people. Antennas go up to God. Antennas go up, go up, go up. It makes a world of difference. And that's revolutionary self-care because you start with that alignment. That is your first. Just like when your spinal column, all the vertebrae are aligned, when your frequency is aligned with who you truly are, not who we were conditioned or pretend to be, not less than, but who we actually are, then the self-care of love yourself first makes sense. Because lean in, everyone. You are love. You are light. That's not an affirmation. Listen carefully. I am love. I am light is an affirmation that's really a confirmation. So if you look at an affirmation, you think you're going to become that. Hint, 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 hint. It's a confirmation. You already are that. So I want everyone right now to switch the gears in their brain and say out loud, even though we can't hear you, I am love.
Am love.
And feel it vibrating in every cell of your body and being. Feel it. It's orgasmic. It's you. I am light. Now try that one on for size 2.
I am light.
And feel it in every cell of your body. And now anchor it by giving yourself a big hug. Give yourself a big hug. Anchor it in the physical form. See, revolutionary means you are body, brain, and heart and soul. Most people say mind, but the mind includes the heart and aligns with the soul. It's not just brain. See, most people, when they say mindset, means brain set. I rant on this because true mind is in every cell of your body. I used to start a riddle, Allie. You know what the riddle was? See if you can answer this riddle, Allie. I'm going to throw it back to you. If that's okay with you?
Sure.
Okay. What's with you 24 hours a day, speaking to you all the time, but there's really rarely anyone home to listen?
Well, I know it's my spirit, my guides, my angels, the universe, but I listen, I hear because I carry on two-way communication.
And you are one of the rare beauties that does that. And you attract rare beauties who either are doing that or need fine-tuning or want fine-tuning. So I honor everyone who is attracted to this podcast. You're already there, whether you're living it on a day-to-day basis or kind of blipping into it. But you would not be here. There's no accidents, coincidence, or mistakes with Allie. And definitely not with a revolutionary being like me, because this is the vibration we're entering. We're entering fifth frequency. It's a frequency beyond what the average person is listening at or working with. It's beyond even where just beautiful heart-centered people are. It's that we are one of us here in billions of bodies. See, that's a revolutionary concept because how we would live our life would be extremely different.
A point I want to make on that subject is I lost so many friends to breast cancer, which is about not nourishing yourself, to brain cancer, which is not paying attention to your own needs and desires, what you want to create. And now the new one is lung cancer, and that's about breathing in the life force. And it's all because we're allowing others' needs to come before us. That's why I'm so grateful you're here today. I'm so grateful for your program. And we're getting this message out there to all the people who are ready to hear it, because not everybody's ready to hear it.
No, and I honor you for being such a way shower and a messenger, Allie. I'm going to tell everybody what I heard through my shamanic studies about cancer. You are totally accurate with what you said. And the body never lies because it does. I used to tell my clients, let's play detective. There's no accident, coincidence, or mistake if it's breast cancer as opposed to lung cancer. Yeah, you could look at all the environmental stuff and blah, 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 blah. At a soul level, this is what I heard about cancer. And as a guide and a catalyst with people for over 40 years of working with all sorts of cancers, it is the cry for change right down to the cellular level. And hear this, there is no war on cancer. The body is just waking you up. And it's either going to wake you up to change your consciousness through whatever method you are drawn to, or to drop your form. But it is evolutionary, revolutionary change. It means the way things were are not going to continue. But there's no judgment with the soul. It's just a messenger. So as you were saying, Allie, the lungs are specific to grief. Look what's going on in our world today. The losses, both of physical lives, of lives the way we used to live it, of so many things. So any surprise that the lungs are trending, as I might say? Grief, loss, big one. But again, what I learned from the time I was a little girl, because this is not something I learned through studies, Ali. I was born this way, like Lady Gaga's song. I had my first revelation of how powerful we are at about age 5. And at that time, I developed what is normally a childhood illness called the mumps. You know, the little mumps, those little things that pop up around your body. I was 5 years old. My father was a medical doctor, but very holistically oriented when that word was not really known back in the 50s. And his office we had a 3-story home, and his office was on the main story. Well, I may have been 5, but I made my way down to my dad's office. I was going to have him take care of me. I'm the most important patient in his world, so move over everybody else. I burst through the doors, but I wasn't greeted with, "Oh, I love you, honey," and Daddy's working with patients, and you just have a little childhood thing going on. When I come home tonight, Daddy will help you. Well, Ellie, I didn't know about healing at that time consciously, but somehow I think we're all born with that knowing, and I was more in touch with it for whatever reason than many. And I remember lumbering up those tall stairs thinking, well, those people are patient. I'm not. I'm going to handle this myself. The revolutionary self-care, birth at age 5. We didn't wait to get conditioned by society. What did I do? Intuitively, I went into my bathroom. I climbed onto the little toilet, climbed onto the little vanity seat, the little vanity, whatever, in front of the mirror. Why I did this? Heaven only knows. I just did it. I put my hand on the mumps, which I call boo-boo, and I started talking to myself in the mirror. Hint, hint, I'm dropping a lot of things on what you can do for yourself while I'm telling you my story. So enjoy the little 5-year-old who kind of discovered the path. Follow and do whenever you need to. Boo-boo, hands on first. Love that part of your body. So I started saying, God made me perfect. I'm a little girl, not a hamster. We had a hamster called Harry. So I'm not Harry. I'm a little girl. Go away. Go away. Well, I don't know how long I did that in the mirror, looking at the little lump with my hand on it. But Allie, by the time I was finished, so was the mumps.
Wow.
I watched it dissolve.
Wow.
Now, when you start that way, where do you think your natural powers go? By the time my father came home that night to take care of it, he got the surprise of his life. There's his little girl proudly demonstrating my neck with nothing there. And his big blue eyes widened. And he said, "What did you do?" And I said, "I couldn't wait for you." So I went straight to God. And God made me a little girl, not a hamster like Harry. And I just told God to handle it for me. And God did. So I don't need you now.
Oh my goodness. That's extraordinary. I wasn't like that all my life. I got weird things. If 0.5% of the population had it, an injury or an illness, I got it. And I needed doctors to heal me. I didn't know any better until probably 20 years ago.
I can say that, Allie, you are more the incredible, beautiful empath. See, you're an empath. I'm an empath. Probably most of your leaders are empaths, where we feel beyond. We know there's more than a physical body, and we pick it up. The only difference between me and you at the time is my soul blueprint was to awaken at an earlier time. But everything is our soul's blueprint. When I had a near-death experience, that was revealed to me in ways that it was in 1995, and I'm still integrating it, and this is 2021.
Wow.
Yeah. Just so everybody's clear, I wasn't sick for my near-death experience, nor was I in an accident. So I didn't even know it was a near-death experience. I called it a near-death-like experience because I was at a high-end New York spa in a body wrap, a mummy body wrap, and they forgot about me. So it was supposed to be a 20-minute detox, turned into an hour and a half heat-induced heart failure. However, it was the best experience of my life. My life forever transformed after that. And that's where the GPS code and everything, I was told, you will share this with others. Now, I thought it was share the near-death experience because after I came back, I was so expanded and, oh my God, I didn't, I wanted everybody to feel that you are light, that you are love, that you are pure freedom, that we are not our bodies. We have a body, but we're not that. We have emotions, but hell, we're not that. They're just vibrations. So move them through as quickly as possible. Then we have everything else backwards, that we are, we focus on the past and go, I was a therapist, for goodness sakes, focus on the past, but we embed it even further. I had to change my entire way of working after that experience. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was to pass on the near-death experience. I realize now, no, it was to pass on what's now become the code, the GPS code. Putting God first, putting whatever God is for you. I'm not using it in a religious connotation. Just so we're clear, it's spirituality made practical, like my Facebook group is. It's who we are. We are all God beings. So whether you call it higher self, soul, angel, palm tree, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the word is. It's the highest vibration of love and oneness. That's it, folks. It's the frequency of the highest vibration of oneness and love and perception from that location.
I want to go a little deeper into that. First, I'm going to take a quick sponsor break. Mm-hmm. Affirmations work 100% of the time. If yours don't produce your desired results, it's time to discover what others do not tell you about how and what to say. And the secret no one shares that leaves you thinking affirmations do not work for you. Head over to letsgetmetaphysicalpodcast.com affirmations for my special offer, Allie on Goals and Affirmations. The link will be in the show notes. Getting back to what you were talking about, I used to know about people, like someone came and I was in landmark education and she was in there and I don't remember why she came to me, but the universe told me she had breast cancer. Now, I didn't say anything to her because I knew she was going to the doctor the next day. And another time, a client came in, and as she came in the front door, she said, "The good news is I don't have Alzheimer's, but I had just gotten a message her brain was deteriorating," which did happen. So I didn't pass on messages that were given to me. And I know when I was studying some of the modalities, we were very specifically told you cannot work on cancer. So it never occurred to me to work on cancer. I work on all kinds of things, but I never did that. Can work with the brain. But I want to go into your GPS system now, because that's where we are.
Well, the GPS code really was birthed with the words I'm about to tell you now. So if anybody ever was to write something down, now's the time to get a piece of paper and a pen, or your laptop, whatever. Because I heard these at age 13 at my most darkest hour. Because remember, I started, young with all these gifts, and my dad became my mentor, and not only my dad, and even opened up worlds to me. But then he passed away of cancer, of lung cancer, when he didn't even smoke when I was 13. And then at the same day, while I was being consoled by a family relative, I was raped. Put those two together. Talk about destruction. Going from an expanded worldview to a dark, dark worldview. So much so that I've been guided to express the whole thing. I used to run under the radar and not share my sacred wound. I would just, Dr. Tianna, all these degrees, and I can have all these theories, but not how it started as a little girl, how it got cracked open at age 13. So after the funeral was over, I just wanted to kill myself. I mean, I didn't want to go on. It was too painful. That's why revolutionary self-care, it was too painful. It was like, this world is not for me. And I'm sure a lot of people, especially empaths, will go through that dark night. And it's not the dark night of the soul, like Thomas More called it. It's the dark night of the ego. Our personality, our conscious mind has no clue, but our soul has a blueprint for our highest evolution. Know that, because that's what took over for me. So we lived on the water. So I was going to throw myself into the sea. Except here's how funny God could get to be, Allie. It was low tide. I would not be drowning, which I could handle. I would be throwing myself into like this deep mud that would make me a mess out of me, and probably, that was going to happen. I'm not that desperate. So I looked up at the sky and I started railing at God, railing. Like, you're told not to do things like that. But if anybody could handle it, God can. And I'm Italian, so we did not hold back. We did the F word, the other words. But at the end, I said, but my dad taught me that everyone deserves a second chance. Okay, you're going to have your second chance, God. I'm telling God, you can have a second chance. I mean, if that's not the beginning of a crazy lady, I don't know what is. And so it was a cloudy day, and the sun literally parted. And what came, though, was not sunlight, but this blue-white light that I then experienced again in the near-death experience, but it filled every part of me. And then I heard my first clairvoyant words. It opened up my clairaudient words. These are the words I want people to write down, because they took that tragedy to triumph, not only for me, but thousands of clients over 40 years in a career that didn't exist. So the power of our soul and its knowing is so much greater than the human blueprint that we were conditioned to believe. The words were surrender. Each day, step by step, you'll be shown the way. I'll say it again and feel it as I say it, because as I'm saying it, I'm transmitting that light that I received. That's fifth frequency. It cleanses, it clears the blocks. And so my guidance now is to do it 2 more times. You heard the words. Now, each time I'm going to repeat them again. Feel the words. Surrender does not mean submit. It means let go of resistance to what is. Each day, daily habit. step by step. Just one step, one little step, so the universe can match you with its step. You'll be shown the way. I had no idea what those words meant, but they were infused with a healing light. And I had no other option. What could I do at age 13? My mother, and now I have great compassion. At the time, I was like, what about us? You know, she went into her mental breakdown. My sister, who was legally blind, was younger than me. And my family relatives, nobody showed up for our loss in a way that two little girls needed. Mm-hmm. So all I had was trusting in this invisible force, that voice, and myself. And remember, I knew I could clear what Daddy called a mump, a disease, a childhood thing, with God's help. So I just said, God, it's me and you against the world. And so the words, surrender each day, step by step, you'll be shown the way, turned into an awakening of a soul's blueprint that eventually consciously became the GPS code. But those were the unconsciously competent words I used to be guided, because we're all guided all the time, but on a daily basis, starting with the morning and ending at night. And that's part of revolutionary self-care. The hours of the morning and the hours of the night are the best access we have to a force outside our conscious mind. Okay, Ali, take a deep breath. Yeah. What you're feeling.
It's just that's the same thing people tell you if you're going to speak your affirmations or your vision, to do it early in the morning or just before sleep, because your conscious mind's out of the way. Mm-hmm. So that's just, so I'm having an extremely interesting experience. I'm listening to you, and every few minutes I'm indoors. It's not raining indoors here. Water drips on me. Has never happened before. And do you have an idea what could be happening? This is so weird.
Yes, I do. Ali, it's your higher self cleansing whatever needs to be cleansed. Everybody will experience the energy. Remember, I did say I'm going to do something I have rarely done, but I feel so kindred with you and your audience that I not only spoke the words, I said I'm going to transmit the energy that I received. And you're such an empath. You are feeling what I felt. Because what I didn't say is after I heard those words, then the rain started opening up. And I not only had the light cleanse of my cellular structure, then the water. And water became, and to this day, is my piece of nature that just melts away stress. And everybody could access it. And it's got a power of transmutation in those ions that go beyond belief.
Okay, that's what, okay.
I know.
Because they're real water drops. I'm not imagining it.
No, because Alan, you're such a high being. You're already high. You're already there. This won't happen to somebody who's closed, because the other riddle I used to love opening with was one of my teachers, Muktananda, who said, what works best between the mind and a parachute? What's the similarities between the mind and a parachute?
They only work when they're open.
You got it. They work best when open. You are so open, Ali. And you receive as well as give the healing energy. This is coming through, not from me. I don't claim anything. So whatever anybody who's experienced or not experienced, you thank the God in you as you for removing any blocks. And if I could have been any catalyst to that, that's my honor and privilege.
I was not expecting this. This is amazing.
Well, I can't tell you what to expect or not to expect because I don't know. I had nothing to do with it, Ali. It's all yours.
I'm just seeing her listening and learning and opening. And my dad, he had left home some years before, but he transitioned when I was 8. And at the exact moment that he was transitioning, I was talking about him because I didn't know he was leaving. And then I found out later, because I had been looking at the clock, that he had gone in that moment. And a couple of days later, because nobody talked to me, nobody helped me to handle the situation, I was looking up at the sky, and out of nowhere, this silver, I don't know what, appeared. And then went back to nowhere. And I'm positive that was my dad's energy. So I spoke to him every day for decades, even though I wasn't hearing him. Though sometimes he'd come to me in a dream and explain something to me.
Allie, that is such a blessing because you are as evolved as you are. My little sister, remember I said my little sister was legally blind?
Yes.
And so we're like, who's going to tell her that dad has passed? So I volunteer because my mother had a breakdown and I didn't trust my relatives to express it in a way that I thought my sister could handle it. And I go into the room to tell her, and she looks at me, she says, Dad died. And I was like, who told you? My first reaction was, who told you? She goes, I was sleeping. Now, mind you, legally blind. I was sleeping, but this light filled the room, woke me up. And she said, I saw Dad. And he said it was his time to leave, but to trust herself and trust mom and sister to take care of you, and he'll be watching. So my sister had direct contact at age 8, Allie, interesting, same age as you. And that's something to know. If you have children, up until the age of puberty, their soul is very vibrantly still awake. Consciousness is at the high vibration of the blueprint of what's possible. Something happens after puberty that it's kind of the impossible years or the crazy years, but that's beside the point. So listen carefully. And when you look back at your own life at that age, they say that up until age 7 or 8, we're little sponges that take in all the conditioning. That is true. But what they don't tell you is it's also the age where you're most accessible to your soul at the same time. And if your parents or you have experiences like I have that validate, you'd be surprised at the amazing, everyone, I believe, this is my own personal belief from my own knowing in near-death experience, we don't come in just as humans with conditioned belief structures. We come in as powerful little spiritual beings in these tiny little know-nothing bodies, but we have a soul blueprint. We have a plan. The book I love to recommend to everyone is Neil Donald Walsh's Little Souls in the Sun. It's a child's book, but it is the closest thing to describing how little souls put their blueprint together, then come on earth and go through the veil of forgetfulness of who they are and who everybody else is in your script. And what happens is some, like us who are listening and like you, Allie, we either have what I call lead throughs where the power comes through, or we awaken through either a tragedy or something, but it's always there. It's always there. The soul is more powerful than any limiting belief system. And here's the beauty of the code. And it's not my code. It came through me for everyone. I just maybe with my husband from beyond. Oh, that's another fun story. So when I told William, who then became my husband, about the experience and that I wanted to pass on the near-death experience, and he said, no way. I said, but you said you support me. You'd empower my dreams. He said, no way. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, one word, liability. He said, but if there's a way of passing on that living wisdom that you're telling me, we'll find the way. It came, unfortunately and sad for me, from between the worlds. But this code was brought to you not only by and through me, but through my beloved twin soul and spirit from beyond, to put it into a form. He's the one who even gave it the name GPS code, based on the analogy of a car. Because being a male, I guess, and being a car, he's like, you have a body, but you're not the body. You're so much more. But our senses are so real that we think that's all there is. And They're not. They're real. You have to honor them, of course. I'm not, crazy. Well, I am, but not that way. We are more than we appear to be. And when we work with energy, that's why in the academy, I say the code is a combination of prayer as innocent as a child, where you talk about the boo-boo, the pain. But here's the difference from the law of attraction and all personal development. Drum roll, please, because I am saying I'm breaking the myth, the new, evolving, revolutionary awakening system that you already have inside every cell of your body and being that doesn't require brain power. It's the heart has the answers. It's the key to your soul's answers. And when you take prayer as innocent as a child, feeling that frequency, and not put an outcome of what you want, because you're limited by your belief structures, your conditioning, but trust that a force greater than you, AKA the real you, the higher you, the God self you, the whatever you want to call that you, has your answers. And it's bigger than you could ever visualize or imagine. And you trust it to unfold to you. And that's what the code does. It takes you from that. And we then work with, I say the code is prayer as innocent. Notice innocent, not rote, and not what do you want, but this is how I feel, the vibration. And not this is how I want to feel, but when you, in a humble way, giving it to a higher force that is you, that is greater than you, answer it, this is how I know I will feel. That's the gap. You're setting up that frequency gap. You see, there's no interference with the conscious mind. We love the conscious mind. We love the conscious mind. But the conscious mind cannot solve our issues. So when you take the prayer and now you add it with quantum energy transmission, healing, now you have the fusion of what I had in that moment as a child, the words. But of course, the code takes those words and makes it very easy to follow. Blueprint, step by step, 5 steps. It's that simple. Simple, but not easy. Simple, not easy. And then infuse it with the energy transmission that the work is already infused through me for. And the gift I want everybody to have that they can pick up, Allie, at the Awakening Awareness Academy is the video that is free. It takes less than 5 minutes. You start your day with those movements and with the energy that's infused in it, and watch as your day shape shifts, because you set the tone in your morning. And this way you're setting the tone to your soul, not your to-do list. I don't have a to-do list. At most, my soul will give me 3 things that are priorities. Like today, Allie, playing with you on the podcast, that was a priority. So there's a hurricane coming in New York. Oh, well, it's not going to happen while I'm having my podcast with Allie. And I wasn't even concerned about, do we need to reschedule? Did you hear from me, Allie, to reschedule? No. Showtime. And if we had to reschedule, of course I would. But it's like that trust factor gets stronger and stronger. And you trust in the invisible force, even greater than the noise outside in the world or the noise in your head that says you're not good enough, you don't have what it takes, blah, 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 the mind monster chatter. But there's no judgment. It's all part of our evolution. And Einstein gave us the answer. You cannot solve a problem from the same consciousness that created it. Hint, hint, I wish the powers that be in the world would pay attention to that with our reset. But I'm not going to go down that road. I'm just saying we need to go way outside in the trust factor. But that's the first step, is that video. The words that I gave everybody come to life through the code. And then you find yourself on self-driving autopilot. And the self that's driving is your soul self, not your ego self. That's why I said it's an ego-friendly, because unlike a lot of spiritual systems that want to kill the ego, quiet the ego, destroy the ego is that part of us that is in the world, that is what we're navigating. But the ego and the soul really are one. They're playing hide and seek. with each other. And would you like to know, Allie, how you know when you're aligned with your soul's blueprint? I mean, I've been living it, but I only recently have the acronym for it to make it easy for me and everybody else. Mm-hmm. Very simple. You pace yourself. Here's what PACE stands for. Peace of mind, not mind in pieces. Amusement. The absurdity is you are the ego, you are God, you are the limited self, you are the limitless self. You are all of it. And if I dare be naughty, which I already have been and will continue, it's divine masturbation. You're playing with yourself. C, curiosity, as innocent as a child. You live in the question. You don't try to figure anything out. You are open to the higher part of you that has the answers. And E, empowerment. You know that you created the problem, but you also have the solution. I like to call it SOUL-tion. So it's all for your evolution to becoming the highest and best version of who you were born to be.
That was so beautiful. I was going to ask if you wanted to leave a message, but you just did. And what a perfect one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And all the links that you mentioned will be in our show note. I want to remind everybody, join our Facebook group so that you can meet other people who, like you, are on their spiritual journey. Be sure that you actually grab your copy of Step in a New Direction, and the link for Allie Goals and Affirmations is in there. Also, I changed the name of our website where you can look at all of the shows and all of the details on all of them. It's now letsgetmetaphysicalshow.com.
Love the title. I love the upgrade to the title and to the vibration of your show, Allie.
And you also reminded me, coming your way soon, not quite there yet, but I also am starting a fun chat because I don't know about you, but I had a good time learning extraordinary stuff with Dr. Tianna today. And we're just going to spend some time chatting, and I'll do that with some of the other people who you've heard here. And that one's going to be called Let's Get Metaphysical Show. And I will keep you posted when I create that so you get access to it. I wish you a week filled with many blessings.
You've been listening to a talk on the wilder side. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Get Metaphysical. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, please leave a rating and review, and be sure to share it with your friends. Tune in every Monday for more exciting insights and wisdom on life beyond your five senses. Until next time, take a small step in a new direction. Start now.